Okay, this is going to be an introduction to plotting. Now, I have this drawing here, and you can see it's pretty small. It's like 4 inches, it's like 3.5 inches tall, and I don't think it's very wide either, so that's not important. In AutoCAD, we plot, we don't print. So, like in MS Word, you type a document, you're going to print that when you're done. If you're online, you're going to print that when you're done, but in here, we're going to plot. So I'm going to use that command. Here we go, plot. Now, I got a message. I got some other stuff going on, but that's okay. I'm just going to plot a single sheet. Now, when you open this up, you may open it up, and it may look like this. It may be kind of short and tall and rectangle. And in my classes, I need more information than this. So there's an arrow down here at the bottom. And if you just click it, you're going to get some more details pop up on the right about how to plot. Now, in my classes, I like people to print in monochrome because on my drawing, I have, here we go, I have some yellow stuff. If I print in grayscale, then that yellow stuff is going to come up as a real light gray. If I print in color, it's going to print in yellow, and I'm not going to be able to see it at all. It's just going to be really hard to find. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to my plot style, and I'm going to select monochrome, and that's going to allow all the colors to print in black. It will take the pen assignment, so if you have different weights set up, it'll take those. So that works out really well. Now in this plot style manager, if you're working somewhere, you're probably going to have like something that the office likes to use. So you'll typically go over to your plot style manager and say, and have some plot style that's already configured for what the particular office is doing and what they like. If you work for multiple people, say your office does contract work and has multiple clients or something, then you may have multiple different companies listed and use that plot style when you create their prints. So it just makes it faster for you so you don't have to input all this information all the time. So then here you have a printer. You get to choose which printer you want. And what printer I choose is going to change some of this other information as I go. So here I have this Canon MG6600. It's a wireless home desktop printer. So what I'm going to do, I click on the printer. It spins for a minute. It says, okay, you want to use this printer, and this is the network location for it. And it's going to load what it thinks it can do. So it may be right, it may be wrong. So you can't send, this is a simple A size printer that fits on your desk. You can't send a B size sheet of paper through it. You know, it'll only print 8.5 by 11. It won't print an 11 by 17 sheet of paper. So 8.5 by 11, it's either A4, it's either letter, so you can say I have letter. A4 is the European standard for it. You might see it labeled as A size, but it doesn't label that here because it's a simple little desktop printer. But when you install AutoCAD, you get all this other stuff. What do you want to do with, what kind of file do you need to make? Do you need to make a file? Do you need to print it to a piece of paper? What is it that you're going to do with this thing? It installs all this stuff. You can print to an AutoCAD PDF, so that's just a protected document file. You can create high quality or low quality. You can create DWG to PDF. I mean, there's lots of things you can do here. I use something, this is a free piece of software that lets me write to PDF. So if I have a Word document, I can create a PDF out of it. I have an AutoCAD file, I can print to it like a printer. But the difference between this and my desktop printer, or maybe even a plotter that you have in your office, is that once you change it, you can see my list of paper sizes changed because it doesn't care. It's just creating a file at that size. So here I have an architectural A size sheet of paper. I have the A size sheets of paper. I have my letter. So I have these different sizes. So I'm just going to tell it letter because that's what I can do here. I could tell it architectural A. It's all the same. So that's fine. So I'm now ready to define what I'm going to plot. I'm going to do that here. The display. I get these 4 choices, but the display is everything that I have in my drawing window right now. So from here to here to here, everything in that drawing space, let me move this out of the way, all that drawing and all that black space is going to try to plot. So if I preview it, you can see it's got all the black space plus the drawing. I'm going to escape out of that. Extents. Extents of the drawing constitutes the extent of the stuff I have drawn in the file. So if I have something drawn way out here, that's going to be part of the extents. This is pretty clean, so the extents of my drawing go from here to here. Everything that would, imagine you could draw a box around everything you have drawn. So if I preview it, you're going to see just the extents of the drawing fit on the paper. So I'm going to escape out of that. Limits. Now limits is something you set up in advance. You use the limits command and you sort of define a space on the screen. So if I preview this, it doesn't make much sense to me. So that's something you need to plan ahead for. If you always know you're going to plot the limits, you would go and use the limits command. My bottom corner is 0, 0. My top corner is 11 by 8.5, so that I have a landscape piece of paper that's A size. So you need to plan that in advance. So I'm going to go back to plot, get rid of my error message, still printing to letter, or architectural A, it doesn't matter. And then window. Window is pretty handy because when I click it, it goes away. I can just say, well, I want to go from here to there. And when I click it, it's just gone. So that's pretty handy. What did it do? It let me define what I wanted on the screen. So maybe I only wanted the 2 views of it. That's not very likely, but maybe I only wanted these views. So now if I preview it, it only includes those views and it doesn't include that right view anymore. So I'm pretty fond of printing to either window because I want a specific thing, or extents. So then I'm going to use extents. I'm going to center the plot. This is just going to try to put everything you have selected in the middle of the page. Now, here's a sore point for a lot of people. Fit to paper. If you just need a markup, you can do a fit to paper. But when you plot something, you should really plot to a scale. So as I fit to paper, you can see it's 1 to 0.9143. It's kind of a crazy number. You could never put a scale on that and be sure the number's right. So what I'm going to do, turn that off, and I'm going to say 1. Or there's already some presets in here you could use. I'm going to just use 1. Now when I preview it, I see that it fits on the screen. If I were to take a scale, I could measure a full 4 inches from here to here, a full 3.5 inches from here to here, and it would print out pretty correct. So here's what I use the fit to paper for. If you're not sure what scale you need to get this at, what you can do is take the fit to paper button, push it, see what number you get. 1 to 9.9143. Okay, great. That means I could fit 1 in there and it would just be a little smaller than what it wanted to print. And I can come pretty close. If I were to say something like 1.5, we're going to get to annotation scale in another video. That's a big deal in the current drafting world. Then you're going to see it's going to drop down how big that is. So then when I measure it, I'm going to have to measure it like half to 1. So this is very important to learn. And I'm ready to go. So then when I print it, where am I going to print it? So because I'm using that Cube PDF reader, it's going to bring this up for me, and maybe I'll just put this in my, I need a working place to put it, so I'm going to put it in my documents there, and I'm going to say uh, test PDF plot and save. And then that's it. It created a PDF file for me. So before you print anything, always preview it because you don't know what crazy thing it's going to give you. And then you're ready to plot. So if I go check my documents, let's see here, it's going to be, and there it is, my test PDF plot, and there's my drawing. And you can see it's in monochrome. Let's see, I'm going to rotate the view this way, maximize it. You can see it's in monochrome. You can see I have different line weights set. You can see my dimensions are set to a thin line weight. My object lines are set to a thick line weight, same as my hidden lines. And it creates those line weights for you. So that is a good looking drawing. And that's an intro to plotting in AutoCAD.